Hello and good morning, everyone. Today, it's a very special and unique day for James. So, James, if I could ask you to introduce yourself and tell us, an audience, where you are today.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you back here. It's great to be here on a Sunday morning again. I really look forward to these soulful synergies, and I hope you do too. So today I'm in Birmingham on a PIN event, so the Property Investors Network. I'm here working actually for Simon Zucci. It's a fantastic venue. We're at the Millennium Point in Birmingham. We've got a brand new auditorium, and we're just having a 3-day property event, and we're having a lot of fun, Greg. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. And good morning, all of you. I'm Greg Piskasup here from my home studio, joining you live with James and Richard. So James is going to share his camera today. And we would like to welcome you to our weekly dose of growth and inspiration, where we blend soulfulness with business acumen. And alongside James, myself, and Richard today, we are thrilled to have Richard with us. And Richard is a visionary in making life simpler for business owners, and he will share his secrets on navigating the seasons of the business and the who, not how concept that we've already covered on previous episodes. So if you missed those, go back and watch and join us, ask questions, and if you find this useful, like and subscribe. And
Absolutely.
today we would like... Go on, James.
I was just going to say, I just wanted to say before anything, Richard Evans is one of those energies, one of those frequencies that just connected with me and Greg straight away. So I just want to say that our soulful energies are very alike, very aligned. If you meet Richard, it's just a fantastic energy. So I just wanted to get that in early before I forget.
Absolutely, absolutely. And James, if you will be kind enough to operate the camera and let Richard join the stream.
Absolutely. Here we are.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Richard. Hello, good morning, guys. If I can both squeeze you, we had a technical problems, but this is live, and we can't go any more live than this. One of the phones, one of the cameras dropped down. Anyway, we're still here for you, despite the fact whatever we are doing, we're gonna log in 9 a.m. on Sunday for you. James and Richard. Good morning, Richard. If I can kindly ask you to introduce yourself, please.
Certainly. And first of all, I'd like to thank you, Greg and James, for inviting me to come and speak today. I've been so excited since you invited me. I've been really looking forward to this. And James just touched on energy. And the reason I do a lot of these sorts of interviews, okay, but James's energy and my energy and your energy are just so aligned. And let's just talk about that soulfulness. So, yes. Boom, which is the VA side of the business, which most people know me for. The actual company behind it is called Awaken to Business. Okay. The reason why, because I believe that business is not just about profit and loss and balance sheets. Okay. It's about your energy and helping other people and having values that you follow through on. And I think more and more entrepreneurs are having this awakening. So there are two parts of the business. It's about being mindful and having that awareness of what are you actually all about with your spiritual being, as well as the business. And this is why we are just so aligned in what we do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love how you call the business Awaken to Business. And this actually tallies really well with what me and James are doing here live on this podcast, is helping busy entrepreneurs to awaken from all of the challenges, all of the obstacles. I currently go through a huge challenge in my business, in my life, and this is how to divide the time between business, life, because I'm busy entrepreneurs like ourselves. We're not only doing one thing. We've got other businesses. We've got our hands in all sorts of different areas, and I'm currently going through a challenge at home where I don't have enough time to spend with my partner. I don't have enough time to go and enjoy doing something for me. My partner asked me a question this week, and it was a very simple, very deep question. What have I done for myself today? And you know what? The immediate answer was like, I have meditated this morning, but actually it was, it felt very personal. And I'm like, no, I don't think I have done anything for myself. I've done a lot for my business, for one business, for a second. And I've been so busy all day, but I've actually not done anything really for myself. I'm working on a strategy. And this is the exact reason, we do this podcast to help you. So we are doing this to show you a real life examples how we grow within this podcast live with you here. And we want to inspire you by our change. And if you can resonate, and if you've got similar challenges in your life, come and join us, leave a comments, and we will answer those comments. We will answer your questions. So going on to that, we would like to ask Richard some of his, just asking to share his wisdom. And if we could allude to those challenges, is the time management and prioritization. So this is where we've got busy days going around doing everything, but we might be doing the wrong things. And this is where I believe Richard could help us with his expertise and the challenges entrepreneurs often struggle to manage their time effectively, leading to burnout and, decreased productivity. Richard, many entrepreneurs find themselves overwhelmed. What strategies would you recommend for prioritizing the task and managing the time?
Okay, so I think most people, when they come to managing their time, it's chaos. They don't schedule things out. They don't plan things out. And they try to do too much. And actually, sometimes you've got to slow down to speed up. So don't try and do everything. And also think about, if you want to, a lot of times people say, okay, so why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want success? And people say, well, if I'm successful and I've got a successful business, then my success is going to give me choices in life. But actually, what often happens is they work so hard to achieve this dream success that they don't have choices. They might have money, but they don't have choices because they haven't got any time left. So it is really, really important to get that balance. And most people, they don't really know how to organize their time. Now, for me personally, I don't know how many, I've probably got about 4 or 5 different calendars, and they're all color coded. So personal, my health is all goes onto a calendar, what I'm going to do for my health each day, my business appointments, etc. And on a Sunday, I will list out the various different things that I plan to do that next week, and then I will strike half of them through. And I actually end up, rather than a to-do list, just a list of a couple of things that I really need to do each day, and focus on them and forget about the rest of them. The rest of them might be there in the background, so that if I've got time to get round to them, then I will. But it doesn't really matter if they get pushed along somewhere. As long as I've got 2 high-value things that I am doing each day and I can tick those off, then the rest will just drop into place. So don't have to-do lists. Okay, just have priority lists of the things that are going to give you great value. There's a book by Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog, and that is what this is all about. It's like eating frogs. The 2 things that are going to give you the most value, get those done, and the rest will just happen.
And I just want to touch on that quickly, because I was going to say, I don't have to-do lists. I have priority lists with intention. I intend to do this today. If you think about it, we book our holidays, months in advance, and we have that intention of going. It's a priority. So we should really do that with our tasks throughout the day. But Rich is right. It's no good having 10 tasks to do. You'll really get it down to a couple of priorities. And then with that intention, that's how you get stuff done. So I couldn't agree more, actually.
Well, actually, and thank you so much. We've got a really, really good question from the audience. And Magdalena, thank you. The question is, can you please explain what a balance means to you? how you see life balance during the week. James, could you answer that question? How do you see what the balance means to you?
Okay, it's a really, really good question. So, me in particular, the most important thing you can do is get your environment right. So, you want some fresh air around you. You want to have, you don't want an alarm clock waking you up. You want to try and get into your body clock so it wakes up at the right time. So, and for me, Greg, as you know, I wake up and it's the minute I open my eyes, it's gratitude. I've got another day. I've been blessed with another day. The past is gone. The future isn't, tomorrow's not certain, but I've got today. So lots and lots of gratitude. I drink lots and lots of water first thing, straight into meditation. Because if you can get into your meditation when you're in a little bit of a sleepy state, then your imagination and the emotions can create some wonderful outcomes. I mean, sometimes I convince myself that I'm getting up to get on a flight to go somewhere really nice for a couple of days, and I'm working on this business plan, and I've got my family there, and you can almost convince yourself that's your day ahead. But that is the beginning of manifesting the day ahead. So then I'll get up, and then this is really important, Greg, because and I want to talk about how an intention, a priority. Eat that frog. It doesn't need to be just business. It can be health. So for me, I get up, going to take Bella for a walk. And I get out into that. I get up sort of, so it's still dark, and I get out and I start running in my trail shoes, running across fields and mud and dirt and rain. And I'm really pushing myself. I really want to train hard for my park run on the Saturday, which is, my bit of fun. But I'm really pushing myself. I'm out of breath. There's no one else up. It's in the dark and I'm slipping over, and I feel like I'm sort of special forces. And when I get back home, because it was an intention, because it was a big task for me to do, and eat that frog fitness goal, I have it all day to look back on, to lean on, as an anchor point, to say I did that today.
Yes, but this was about.
I was going to say, if I'm lucky,
the question is about balancing, balancing the life and busy work environment.
Yeah.
So what's your unique approach to that? Because I know how busy you are, and I know you are involved in managing your portfolio, your soulful stay, and I know what's happening in the background. But if you could just allude to the audience how you deal with the balance of being busy, the business, and life.
Right, you ready for this? So, when I had a busy business, Greg, had, as you well know, had over 40 staff, and very, very busy, getting pulled from pillar to post. I felt like I was stretched so thin that I could literally tear at any moment. So when I moved to the Northeast and had a clean slate, got into property, didn't know anybody, didn't have any friends, anybody around, I built the business from a soulful energy and attraction to people that had the same frequency as me. So when we talk about work, I'm talking about my work is soulful people. I've got soulful people around me in a soulful business, my soulful stays. And the energy, the high frequency, and that just basically people you can hug, people that want to work with you, people that are excited about being around you. Is that work? Yes, it is to me. So I've merged into work, had time for myself, got my energy up, did my meditation, my gratitude, my exercise, and then I've just merged into being around people that want to be around me. And we just so happen to do work. So that's how I combine the two. Now, I can't stop challenges, Greg, because the outside world, it affects you. You can't lock yourself away in the Canadian, outback and sort of live that sort of life. You have to interact with other people. And they might not be in the same frequency as you, or there's red tape that you've got to deal with. But those challenges, that's part of how we grow. So you want to be looking forward to some challenges. You don't want it too easy a day, but that's how I combine work and me and that sort of balance. I keep the energy the same, Greg. That's what I do.
It is. So just because I had a very similar question, which was just line up, in the line of everything we wanted to cover today. and it was the maintaining work-life balance. But the question from the audience came, and I couldn't resist to ask. But just to summarize, the time management and prioritization. Richard, you said you are color coding your calendar, and I think it's absolutely brilliant, because this is what I've been implementing in my business. Color coding, but not only just color coding your your most important business that you've got to attend, but also blocking the time in the calendar. And I think this is a really this one of the simplest things we can implement as a business, entrepreneurs, busy entrepreneurs. Just blocking time for having lunch, as simple as having lunch. How many of you had found yourself eating a sandwich while you're driving or while you're doing other work, just on the go, because there's just no time? Simply no time to even have your lunch. And actually, we should take a moment, whether this is 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and sit down, really cherish that meal, because we actually we forget how important it is to take a moment, reflect, and just have that nice, worth a meal, and not a quick McDonald's fast food or anything like that. That's actually not good for your health.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Can I just drop something in there? And
Yes,
I just
please.
love you guys. I am resonating. The words that James is saying could be coming out of my own mouth.
Sorry about that.
I just really love it, and about having a team surrounding yourself where your values align, and then they can really represent you, and you can trust that they are putting across to people that come in contact, not just customers, but people that are coming in contact with your business, about what you're all about, because we only want certain types of customers. And those are the customers that we know are going to really benefit from what we can do and our energy and what we put out there. But I get sidetracked. Just what you're saying, okay, about lunch and having that time available for lunch. Now, I have online calendars. I've got an executive assistant that manages my diary and everything else. But it's so important to take that time to have a proper lunch. Now, I don't have blocked out in my calendar lunchtime. I just have unavailable. 1 o'clock every single day, I'm unavailable.
Oh, that's good.
So nobody can book my time. I'm free to sit down, relax, have a proper lunch, take time to digest it, have a cup of coffee or a glass of water, and just be calm.
Yeah, Greg. And the other thing is, Greg, is that I would question, we're going to really deep dive into the 80-20. We're going to get there soon on how, most of our day is actually not doing anything at all. It's just going A, B, C, just literally flipping between things and not understanding the impact that those tasks are having. So if you're having a sandwich on the way to something, I'd question what you're on the way to and how important that is in the grand scale of things. And distractions, being pulled around, it's not really a good use of your time. So you're absolutely right. We shouldn't be driving roundabouts, arm on the window, trying to drink a coffee, trying to eat a sandwich. That is not very healthy at all. But I really like that idea, actually, of blocking out the hour. Because I do a Wednesday. I don't have... Wednesday is my day to get into nature with the family. We do not do anything on a Wednesday. But I really like that idea of that 1 hour for lunch or anything. It might be meditation. You might not be hungry.
Yeah, that's all in there.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Good.
Everybody. But as far as my public calendar is concerned, they don't need to know if I'm swimming or if I'm at the gym or if I'm meditating or if I'm going for a walk. Yeah. It's just unavailable. I have so many appointments a week that are just unavailable.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, and I'll tell you, guys, let me just share this with you as well. My maintaining work-life balance. So I've got my electrical business, property, and I also co-host the Next Level events, which is a networking event for entrepreneurs. And we've got this amazing live podcast on Sunday. My diary is color-coded. It looks like rainbow, I'll tell you. And I do block time but I'm actually failing. I'm blocking the time, but I will allow something else to take that time. So this is where not only just blocking a time, but actually sticking to it, to your values, is because when I've been asked that question by my partner, what have I done for myself today? And I'm like, well, I don't think I've done much. But then I say, okay, I've had the meetings to put things in place that will return my time, but not now. That's going to be hopefully soon in the future. So getting my PA, getting my finance manager, getting my, getting a right admin in the business. Everything is in, being set up, and we have processes that we just need to now put them in place. And we need those, those at least key people in the business who are going to take my time away. So the way I see investments in my business is if I get a direct return on my time, if I can buy back my time. By the way, there's a great book by Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm applying this principle to my life. But what it is what if we do just, forget, because my calendar, I'm just looking at it, and it's absolutely, there's so many colors, and Google, which even tells you how much time you spend on specific tasks.
Yeah.
So this is the maintaining the, work to life balance. And if both of you could give one tip, how, when you started building your business and, before you came to be where you are today, how and what would be your advice to our busy entrepreneurs to how to deal and divide the time between family or your life and your business? What's the one tip that you could give?
Well, discipline and intention. You've got to understand what's important to you. Family, fun, financial independence, and fitness. So those are the four important things to me. So if I've got a calendar, I won't allow anything to come into that calendar. So it's intention and commitment and discipline and understanding what you've got to keep your eye on the prize. Entrepreneurs are in business. They love taking risks for reward. But
Yes.
that reward, they need to be fit and healthy and have a great relationship in order to use that. So intention, discipline, and really stick to that calendar. That's a really good tip for me.
Mm-hmm. Richard, anything from you?
Yes, certainly. So James talked about 80-20. 80% of the stuff that you as an entrepreneur may be doing, you really don't need to do. So it's that who, not how attitude. So look at the things that you're doing and go, well, so a lot of these things I just said, they'll drop into place. Focus on those two key things, high value things, not the urgent stuff, high value things that you want to do each day. And then the rest of them, think about, well, actually, who can I get to do that? Not how am I going to do it? Mm-hmm. And that who may be somebody that you don't have to pay. It could be family, it could be a friend, or it could be somebody that you do pay. What's your time worth? And if you've got things that need to be done, that are urgent things that need to be done, but they don't have high value, the likelihood is that you can pay somebody to do that at a far lower rate than what your time is worth. So get somebody else to do an awful lot of those things, that 80% of the stuff that you don't have to be doing. Yeah. And then, spend that time, quality time, doing what you want to do, whether it's relating to the business or whether it's spending time with your family or Henry, because that's our dog, taking Henry for a walk, working on your fitness, doing the things that are important to you.
And so actually that really well goes into my my third question, which is scaling a business operation. But just before we get there, so Richard, the concept that you've just introduced to us is finding your back buy rate. So this is how much are you worth per your hour, and then if you can find someone else to do this high volume or low important tasks away from you, so buy back your time, essentially just get someone else to do all these all these it could be emails, it could be anything that you in your business is a high volume you're going through. It could be scanning receipts. It could be anything else that you do. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So, so first of all, let's talk about that hourly rate. So we're
Okay.
entrepreneurs.
So if we
Okay.
could do that, as well as if the business a business growth, an entrepreneur face the challenges of scaling their operation without sacrificing quality, and overextending on the resources. So because that's a really good question together with that buyback rate is the question: how should scaling a business is a significant hurdle for many. What are your key strategies for a successful scaling, especially in the early stages of growth of that business?
Okay. So when you first start out, it's going to be you. Okay. And you are the business. You're like a hot dog salesman or woman. You know, you're going out there, you're buying the sausages, you're buying the buns, you're taking your hot dog stall, you're setting it all up, you're doing your marketing, which is shouting out to people, hot dogs, hot dogs, hot dogs.
And the smell.
And the smell, yeah, that's right. People are coming over, you're cooking up the hot dogs, you're taking the cash. At the end of the day, you're taking the cash and you're putting it in a shoebox under the bed or whatever you're doing with it, you know, and you are the business. Now, it's not bad starting off like that. As property entrepreneurs, I started off in my investing in property as a landlord, doing everything, doing viewings, finding tenants, screening them, moving them in, fixing leaking taps, and all of that sort of stuff. And it's a good place to start, but you can only do that for a very limited period of time if you want to scale. So the next thing is you need to start thinking about, okay, so if I'm going to free up my time to grow this business, who do I need? And Brad Sugars, who's the founder of Action Coach, the world's largest franchise coaching organization, he's got this great saying: not employing somebody in my business is costing me a fortune.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many people, they think, well, I can't afford to pay people to do the stuff. Okay, you can't afford not to pay people this stuff because it's just going to hold you back. So start to think like an entrepreneur now, and start to think, right, okay, so who do I need? I've got to build a team. Who are those people? And if you're running a property business, maybe it could be that perhaps you've got to pay high salaries for people here in the UK. So maybe you don't start off getting a property manager and cleaners and things like that. Maybe, you continue to do those little things for a little while. But you take on somebody, obviously we run a virtual assistant business. So you take on a virtual assistant either through us or, somewhere else you get somebody that you can afford to start delegating those urgent, low value tasks that still need to be done. Okay. And they start doing them. And then the next person in your team may be a property manager, feet on the ground, somebody local, and they can start doing the viewings. And all the time you're getting back your time so that you can focus on growing and scaling that business. And then you start to build layers within the business. And where you really want to get is you want to have a bottom layer, and these are the people that you pay the least, and they're doing a lot of work, and they're doing a lot of urgent work, things that need to be done right now. So they may be doing your bookkeeping, so your social media management, various different things like that, property management, looking for more deals, this sort of thing. And then above them, you start to build in, as it grows, you start to build in team leaders. So these are people that have been on that bottom layer for a while, and now they've got some experience and they know exactly what they're doing, and they can then support the bottom layer. So you're not, the bottom layer aren't having to come to you. You have team leaders that they can report into, and they're supporting those general admin people. And then what we've done is we've then got a number of team leaders, and then we build another layer, which is a senior leadership team. So these are people now that have perhaps worked their way up, and now they understand the business and they've got vision, and they're helping you build and grow that business. So it's not just you. And then you can just become the CEO that's overlooking everything. So That is how you scale the business, by not being afraid to pay people to do the things that you don't have to do.
Or indeed, I mean, also there's this, you've got to understand what your unique ability is, Greg. As a, anybody could be an entrepreneur. It is about how much risk you're prepared to take and for the reward. But what's your unique ability? What is your skill set?
Actually, James, what we have is the next question precisely will ask about that. So we cover the unique ability on episode 3, I believe.
Yeah.
So go back and watch if you missed that. But actually, so scaling a business operation, it is sometimes scary. It is something that's holding a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small business owners, and because they feel like they're on their own, and they do everything. They, as you said, Richard, they go around, do all the cleaning. So just taking, for example, someone who's got an SA, which is a serviced accommodation, is a type of the accommodation that you let for people on a short-term let basis. So maybe for a day. So it's like a vacation home for a day or two, or maybe for a week. And sometimes you get a business people. It could be even for a month. It could be quite lucrative if it's set up right. But Richard, as you mentioned, cleaning, it could be that you're doing the cleaning, you're doing all the setting, changing beds, and doing all of it. But actually,
it could be the admin as well, Greg, couldn't it? It could be the emails, it could
admin
be
in the business,
social media,
all of it.
Yeah.
So this is about the scaling the business. If you think like, oh my, well, I'm doing everything because it's maybe 1 or 2 properties, and you think I have time to do that. But then actually, have you? Because maybe that time could be spent somewhere better, where it could be with your family. So this is what my challenges are currently. I need to get people in my business to take my time so I can spend my time where it's needed the most, which is working on the business. But the advice for that such a small entrepreneur is to identify the low value task and high value tasks. So I would prepare, my advice is to get a list, write down everything that you do, and think about your ordinary typical day from start to finish. What you do, how much time do you spend on each of those tasks, and just put a dollar sign or a pound sign. If it's something that is very important and only you can do it, just put like a full £4 signs. If it's something that is a really low value, put a £1 sign. And when you do this exercise, and this is really good, then you'll be able to identify what are the low value tasks that perhaps when you know your back buy rate per hour, you might be able to hand these tasks to someone else who can do this perhaps maybe even better than you, cheaper than you, because obviously when you're thinking of hiring someone, it needs to be cheaper than your hourly rate. And what your hourly rate is as Richard explained previously, very briefly. It's a very vast subject, actually. I think we have to do a separate episode just about your hourly rate. And it will be a really, really good episode about that. Wouldn't you agree, James? Because that's quite vast to understand how much you are worth.
Absolutely.
But go on.
Well, I was just going to say, it is about identifying what tasks you shouldn't be doing. But I was going to ask you a question, Greg, and to you as well, Richard. We're making it sound very easy that we can just get people to do the stuff that we don't want to do. But there's 2 issues. First of all, we need to find the right people. But secondly, what happens if that entrepreneur cannot afford even the very basic help? Do they have to take a leap of faith, Richard? It's a classic, isn't it, where we know what we want, but it's a big expense. It's about that cost and investment. So not all entrepreneurs would have the money. So what would your advice be to people that can't afford to take that step? What would you say to them?
So it's actually not a leap of faith. When you really, really think about it, it's a leap of logic. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
So think about it. Okay. So let's say if you take us, okay, if somebody wanted a virtual assistant to be doing the things, to be taking some of that workload off, we have a minimum usage of 25 hours per month. Okay. So just think about what that could do for you. If you could find somebody that's doing 25 hours worth of time-consuming work, low-value, urgent stuff per month, so that you can focus on more important stuff, that 25 hours is going to cost you £260 per month. I'm going to rephrase that. If you invest £260 per month in your business, you are going to get massive value back. And that's how you're going to grow and scale. So it's not a leap of faith, it is actually a leap of logic. And soon, very, very soon, you're going to be able to afford more than £260 a month, and you can get that person doing more work or get more people into your team. So I'm not saying that you've got to go out there and you've got to recruit people and put them on PAYE for 40 hours a month, and it's going to cost you thousands of pounds. We're just talking about taking little steps all the time. And little steps, as we know, turn into giant leaps.
Well, I would like to answer, James, your question in a way that it's. I like what you said, Richard. It's a leap of logic, not a leap of faith. And the way I would like to answer that question is when, like Richard just said. So if it's not clear enough, Richard is running a company called Awaken to Business and Vavavoom. And these are the VA, virtual assistants, who can help your business with, who can take over those low value tasks, but not only a low value task, you can really grow your team. And I know, because I've used the services and I was really satisfied. And we are still working with Richard. But to answer your question is, I didn't know if I've got enough money in the business because it was just this limiting beliefs. Can I do it? Is this, will I be successful? Will I have enough money at the end of the day? But it was just, believing that yes, you can, because like Richard just said, it is about 230, 250 pounds a month. But the amount of time I I got back and I reinvested that time into another part of my business. And when I did that, another amazing thing happens, and I just got to a next level. So my property business grew when I had your help from your team. My property business has grown, and it just doubled, and now I'm on to a next level, and that's where we are. We set ourselves, and maybe this is my challenge. I set myself a really high, really high goal, and I really struggled, sometimes to achieve them. But when I say struggle, is do I have the right people in my business to help me achieve what I want to achieve? So this is it. Believe that you can, and calculate the risk. But actually, if you're unsure if this is for you, I think, Richard, would it be possible? I know you're a very busy man, that you could offer a free discovery call for our audience just to find out what it is that you're doing and how you could help those busy entrepreneurs.
Yeah, sure. I'd be more than happy to do that. I normally charge, I forgot, £250 an hour, I think, for these calls. But no, if anybody in the audience would like to have just a Zoom call, 45 minutes, an hour, something like that, we can look at your business and where you want to go, what your vision is, and then we can discuss perhaps a path that you can follow to be able to scale that. And I'd just like to just say one other thing. 2018, I went through some personal challenges of my own, and I literally had to scale everything right back down to zero. When I started Vavavoom, which was 2019, when I started to go on the rebuild, end of 2018, I had one VA. By March 2019, I had 3 VAs. Okay, I've since started new businesses, serviced accommodation business, HMO business, your virtual marketing team, which is the digital marketing agency. I now have within my core team, just doing work within my own businesses, 35 virtual assistants based in
Well
America.
done. That's
So
great.
that is in a very, very short period of time. So, as an entrepreneur, by taking time to think, to be strategic, by putting proper structure in place, anything is achievable. So yeah,
Absolutely.
no, Greg, I would be more than happy to do that for your viewers.
So, listen, folks, thank you, Richard, because that's amazing. If you would like to book on that call with Richard and take him on this, unique opportunity to find out more, we will just get in contact with us. Send me a message or James, and we will put you in contact with Richard. And this is your opportunity. Actually, this is
Yes.
you taking your life in your hands and really making it change. And well, what are you waiting for? We'll come back to it. We'll mention about this once again, Richard. But it's amazing. It's really, really good. Just to summarize, we've covered the time management and prioritization. We talked about the calendar, color coding, blocking the calendar. Absolutely amazing. Scaling the business operation. Using someone else to help you. So buy back your time. The buyback rate. I think we're going to go back to that because obviously it's a vast subject, but not today. I just want to prepare us to what's coming next. And scaling the business, getting the right people in the business, finding the balance and in your work and life, it is a very challenging subject. But if you've got your calendar sorted, if you understand that this is not only you who's going to take your business forward, and you've got someone like yourself, Richard, who can give those trained people to help you in your business. But how do you, it's all about the delegating and building reliable team. And the question and the challenge I have is because the challenge for many entrepreneurs is finding that right person and delegating the tasks. It could be difficult, and not everyone is the right uh, in the right mindset to delegate those tasks. So my question is, delegation is crucial for business. How can entrepreneurs build a trustworthy team and learn to delegate, efficiently? What would you advise, Richard?
Right. So here is this is a really, really good question. It's actually quite a deep question. I could talk for a whole hour just about this, but I won't. You'll be glad to know.
We don't mind.
When you first start out, and you might be interviewing 3 or 4, 5, 6 candidates. Recruitment also, always think about who do you need in 6 months' time, and start recruiting now for those people that you need tomorrow. So that's another just little tip I'll throw in there. But you're likely, when you first start out, if you're getting property managers, VAs, whatever it is, you're likely to go through that recruitment process yourself. And of course, unless you've done recruitment, that can be minefield on its own, very time consuming. And you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you don't know. So it's very dangerous to do that.
Yes.
But the likelihood is that you're going to start to recruit these people. You're going to look for people who you feel can do the job, where you feel their values align with yours. If they don't, then don't even go there. They've got to have the right values, the right energy, etc. And then when you've got good people, trust those. Trust yourself. Trust your own decision, okay, and trust those people, and allow them to get on and do their job. Now, we have a recruitment team, so I don't do any recruiting. Even for my core team, they say, we've got a new member of the team now, it's such and such, and this is what they're going to be doing. And I know that I can trust my team. I don't need to be making micro decisions within the business. There's lots and lots of things that go on within the business that I don't even know about, because I don't need to know. So you will, by talking to the right people, taking in the right people, you will build out a very good professional team within your business. Now, I also just like to answer this, the other side. So we've got your business, which you're the head of, and you've got your team. I should do it this way. You've got your team underneath you. but who have you got above you? Okay, because that is also really, really important. You need to have a team above you as well. And these people, these are your coaches and your mentors and people that you can go to for guidance and advice. And sometimes, often, your coach is going to just pull out stuff that you already know inside. Okay, but you're so busy doing the other stuff and worrying about other things, you can't see what is right there staring you in the face. And that's what coaches do, and mentors, they have done this stuff before. So they've got experience and they will mentor you and give you advice. Really, really important that you have got that layer above you, or layers. I've got 3 mentors, that you've got those people above you and those people below you as well.
Yeah. And just
Richard, just quickly, James. Richard, could not agree more with you on that subject, because building a team, and a reliable team, and learning to delegate, it's a quite a subject. You're learning the process as you go, and it's good to know that you've got that in your business. But actually, what you're related to is having a team not only that's following your processes, but another layer of team. So having your mentor and having your coaches. So I also have a mentor, and I've got a business coach, and I'm really proud to working with them. I'm working towards my accreditation as a coach and mentor, and together with James, we are on this journey. And it's glad to know that you are using someone else to help you, really, because it doesn't matter where we are on the journey of our business or personal or professional growth. We're still growing, and there's always room to improve. There's always room to grow. But what got you here might not get you there where you want to be, and that's very crucial to know. So, James, what would you like to add to that?
Well, I was going to say that delegation and handing trust over to people to do their job. Don't be frightened if they fail at things, because failure is often where innovation lives. They're right next door to each other. Let your team develop, let them make mistakes, and understand that, give them the freedom, that I can't think what the word is. There's a word when you give your staff freedom.
Freedom is a great word.
Autonomy is the word. You give them autonomy. But I just want to touch on coaching. Now, coaching is really, really important to me. I am a coach. I have people that I coach, but I have a coach who coaches me, and he's really, really good at getting to the laser point that we need to focus on and cut out all the noise. And that's what you get from coaching. So, a really good point there, Richard.
Absolutely brilliant. Both, thank you for answering that question. And if anyone's in the audience would like to add anything or have any questions, please join us, join the discussion. This is an open discussion for everyone to come and join. We are covering some really groundbreaking, very important challenges in your busy lives, as an entrepreneur. And we are here for you. And both of you, a question, and the challenges is adapting to market changes, because obviously the market is changing. Some people say that we are actually going through a recession. Some of our friends and other market analysts says that it's just a market correction, and the market constantly evolving, and entrepreneurs needs adapt quickly. My question to you, James, is in this rapidly changing market, adaptability, it is a key. But how should entrepreneurs approach innovation and change within the business to stay ahead?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. Business is changing. But I think that if an entrepreneur has his eye on supply and demand in whatever market they're in, and also being world class, if you're offering a world class product, then you can get feedback from your customers. You could ask something like, perhaps you're doing service accommodation. You could say to them, would you recommend this property as service to your family and friends? Give me a number between 0 and 10. And really, you want 9s and 10s. And if you don't get 9s and 10s, then you ask for why haven't you given me such a high score? What can I do to make it world class? And that creates innovation and change. So that's what I would do. I'd ask your customers, ask the people that are buying your products, if you're world class, and what they would recommend that you do to be world class. So that would be a tip from me.
And what James has just described there is actually a strategy. It's called Net Promoter Score. I'm sure we've all received those text messages. And based on the responses that you get, there's a formula that's applied, and you end up with a number, a value, and that will determine how good you are. And world class is the top category.
Yeah.
And that's where we all want to strive to be, of course, world class, and have a world class team. I'm pleased to say that we have that. We've achieved that.
Yeah.
What was the question again? Oh, market changes, right? Okay.
How do you? Let me ask the question. How should entrepreneurs?
I'm actually going to expand that slightly, if I may.
Go on.
Okay.
Yes, please.
And let's talk about life changes. Okay, business life changes. It's not just about the market. It's about technology. It's about ways of doing things. It's about what people want, how the world is changing. The world is always changing. And as entrepreneurs, we have to keep up with economic, lifestyle, all the various different technology. Look how rapidly that is changing. AI. What? So many people have said to me, you know what, Richard, with AI, you're not going to have a business soon. People won't need virtual assistants. Wrong. Okay. AI is a great tool. It's all about data and processing data and foreseeing things. Okay. That data's got to come, somebody's got to put it in there, put the questions in to get the answers out. So there's always a need for virtual assistants. What virtual assistants have to do, and if anybody is watching this and they think, I would like to be a virtual assistant, you've got to be so on the ball with this. You've got to know all about this subject and the tools and things like that. So the world is changing. Markets are changing. Lifestyles are changing. The way people have relationships are changing. Okay. And as entrepreneurs, we've got to be ahead of the changes.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, I think you've is spot on, because market is evolving, changing. AI is huge these days, and a lot of people is actually thinking, oh well, why do I need a virtual assistant? I can just ask ChatGPT, Gemini, any other tools to help me analyze that document, help me write this, help me summarize. But what people don't see is, okay, yes, some task might just got easier or being automated, but this is still you doing it. If you are going to do everything, you will never have time to work on you and on the business. And think about the value you're getting, because if your VA or your assistant or anyone who is in your business and helping you can use those services such as an AI to make their job easier, how much more efficient team you are just getting by use of AI. Because if they are using the AI to speed up their process, their system, their work, you're just staying on top, and you just focus on where is your journey and where you're going, and just go there. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I just wanted to say one thing quickly, actually, Greg, and this might help entrepreneurs. It is about getting out of the business. You don't want to be in the business for too long. So let's just think about it. If we start with you out of the business at the beginning and focus on brand, which has got the core values in there, it's got the vision, it's got the spirit of you in it. So if we think about brand, and then we have an eye on getting you out of the business by using people, by delegating, by using virtual assistants, by using EAs, that would be what I would do. I would start with, how can I get myself out of the business, but leave my heart and my purpose and my passion in the business? And we do that with brand.
That is just, James, you have got the most amazing brands. Soulful Stays, what a fantastic brand. And when you're establishing a business, I believe that there's a process that you should go through. Okay, the very first thing you should think about is, what's the end goal? What am I trying to create? What do I want to achieve here? What's my reason why? And they always say start at the end and then work your way back. So once you know what that reason why is and how you're going to shape the business, then the next thing you start thinking about is, who's my customer? Okay. And then when you think about who's your customer, what's their pain? What's their problem? What is it they're looking for? And you can start thinking about that. And then you start to think about, right, okay, so I'm going to align the values of my business to the pain of my clients. So let's talk about soulful stays.
Yeah.
You know, they want somewhere to stay that is not just great accommodation, but it's also somewhere where they can go relax. Perhaps they can do some meditation. I think, do you do yoga? Or
we do
Reiki?
yoga, meditation, Reiki healing.
So this client, this guest, is likely to be somebody that's very spiritual, and they struggle to find somewhere that's going to align with their needs. And then you've got soulful states. So James recognised that, okay, and he came up with a great name, Soulful Stays. And then he looked at the brand, and so the brand is now how you communicate what's unique about you, why somebody should come and stay at your property or do business with you. And it's because you can give them what you want. So you communicate that through your brand, through your colors, through your logo, through your fonts. And I take it most of the audience have seen James's brand, his logo, his fonts. It just communicates that so well. Okay, and it really does put that message across.
Yeah. And isn't that what Soulful Synergy is all about, Greg? All of our subjects are heartfelt. You know, we're not running businesses from our heads, any of us. We're running them with our hearts. We understand our customers, and we are giving them the solution to them. So that's the whole point of all of this, Greg. It's all about our frequency, our energy, and giving people that solution.
Yes, it is. But James, wouldn't you agree that also, because obviously that we are doing this to help ourselves and also help everyone else, if we can at the same time. By loving what we do, sometimes we don't feel like we are actually working. Isn't this a trap?
Somebody said, sorry, Greg.
Because it may feel like, you are really loving what you're doing. And this is in my case. But sometimes by doing it, you might fall into a trap of giving yourself 100% to it. And you forget about, other very important stuff like, your life.
Yeah. So again, I'm going to head back to the teams here, okay? Because fulfilling your passion, your team can help you fulfill your passion. And somebody said to me just very recently, out of all of your businesses, which one do you love the most? And in a heartbeat, it was Awaken to Business. And then they said, why? Okay. And it's about change. For me, it's about changing lives. Okay. And I'm not just talking about clients and helping them to have more successful lives. It's when a client comes on board, okay, yeah, we know that we're going to work with that client and amazing things are going to happen. But they also are going to start building a team of virtual assistants, okay? So we're now giving jobs to people in the Philippines, and the Philippines is a tough place, okay? And we pay very, very well. So, and they're very much about family. So in a family, you may have 3 generations, maybe even 4 generations, all living on under one roof. So when we take on a virtual assistant, we're not just changing the life of the person that we're giving a job to, but we're changing the life of their family, and we're allowing them to do things that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And then the other thing that we do is there's a lot of poverty in the Philippines, and I'm talking about real poverty, okay? Something way beyond any poverty in this country. And when somebody comes on board as a client, there's an organization called the Purple Community Fund in the Philippines, and they provide healthcare and education and all sorts of different services, training and things for the poorest of the poor in the Philippines. Now, one of the problems is that children, they haven't got the time to spend on getting educated because they need to go and work to contribute to putting food on the family table. They actually don't have a table, it's the concrete floor in their little shack, okay? But they need to do work that can generate a small amount of money to contribute to the survival of that family. And the sort of work I'm talking about is very unpleasant work. Now, what we do with the Purple Community Fund is for every new client, we provide a month's worth of food for that child in the Philippines so they can get out of that trap and get the education by the PCF to be able to move on with their family and move away from that. So imagine the impact that is having on people's lives as well. And that is what I love about this business. When people are coming on board, it has a massive impact on just so many lives.
That's wonderful, isn't it? That is absolutely wonderful.
Well, it is. That's
wonderful?
very deep. Thank you. It is wonderful. So, just to summarize, because we are shortly running out of time. Unfortunately, we wanted to cover so much today, and the time is flying. We're already at 1 hour mark, and I know where you are, and I know how busy you are. But just to summarize what we've covered today with Richard and James, we talked about the time management, how to prioritize, use the diary, color coding, blocking calendar. Absolutely amazing. Scaling business and delegating to build your reliable team is, remember, you don't have to do this on your own. There is already a trained team available out there at the fraction of your cost. And if you don't know how to calculate that cost, me and James, we might do a webinar, we might do another podcast just purely about that, that back by rate of your time. And maintaining the work-life balance. It's a busy lives that we go through as business entrepreneurs, and we have different challenges and different expectations. But what we've covered today is, I believe, it's all about the clarity in your life, clarity in your business. So knowing what it is that you want to achieve in your life and having that clarity and focus to understand what it is and share the same values with the loved ones so they can support you through it and understand what is going to take and what are you prepared to do to achieve your goals, and also adapting to the market changes. Don't think it's the market is changing rapidly, as we just discussed, but actually, again, don't try to leverage everything on your own. Use team already there. And Richard, thank you so much for being with us today and offering I'm going to go back to your special offer. If you would like to book this, Richard, just mention again what it is that you're going to cover, on the discovery call.
So it's a discovery call. Everybody is different. Every business is different. So we're going to talk about you, your vision. What is it that you want to create? Where do you want to go with the business? And then I will help you plan out a path of what you need to do to achieve that vision.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Brilliant.
Take that. Come on, book it now.
I'm going for it.
But not at 1 o'clock. He's having a sandwich.
No, not at 1 o'clock. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you here with us today, and I'm so pleased that that you found time in your busy schedule, because you're not home today. Just tell the audience where you are today.
Right, so we're at the Millennium Point in Birmingham. I'm actually working for the PIN network today. I'm responsible for over 30 people today. We're going to help them with knowledge and support and mindset, clearly. Absolutely buzzing, Greg. There's lots and lots of exciting stuff. And Dan Hill from Property Entrepreneur is on stage right now, and I'm going to give him a big hug because he doesn't like that.
Oh, amazing. I love that. Well, listen. Say hello to Dan from me, and guys, thank you so much. Let's talk about responsibility. Go back to your, to all of all of the students that you're helping and looking after today. Yeah. Richard, go and inspire hundreds and thousands of people, and share your unique approach to help other people. And what you're doing is absolutely brilliant. Once again, guys, thank you so much for being with us today, live in the studio, for everyone. And take care. See you soon. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye.